What's going on, everyone? My name's Boyd, and I am back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is GrandMonster. His partner today in the teal color, playing as Isis, is Dodds Apple, and they are together Grand Apple. Their opponents today in the red color, playing as Thor, is IamMagic, and his partner getting the Gaia again. You hate to see it. It's Keen Flame. The map is Arctic Craters. But think about your blessings, right? Think about this. Gaia Thor means we can double. We can go for a town center attack onto GrandMonster's base with Forest Fire and Gaia Forest. And beyond that, you can put these Gaia Forest trees closer to your base so that you don't have to go and chop the wood out in no man's land. And same for magic. So I think Gaia on this map with this god here for magic is not the worst thing in the world. So we'll see if they can utilize that strategy and go from there. So Apple get going with Egyptian here, gets his Isis, which is going to help him out quite a bit. So what I wouldn't be surprised here from Apple to see at the very least would be sending a villager over to his partner's base and using building like monuments for the soldiers here, monument to the villagers here. Go one town center fast heroic, and then go Scorpion then spam, and potentially immediate ancestors eclipse on the Thor economy when he hits heroic age. It's a little bit lame, but it's super effective. And beyond that, we're seeing Thor war here, GrandMonster against Magic, and I know for a fact that GrandMonster is not going to be used to this matchup because he's used to playing Odin. He's been playing nothing but Odin for the longest time, and he's going to be used to playing Norse wars a certain way. And then when you jump into Thor's shoes, things change quite a bit because you don't have those speedy Ulfsark, so they're not quite as strong. But we'll see if he can adapt and he knows what to do. Generally speaking, we just see people going medium raiders here and making their way through the tournament or the games like that in the Norse wars. And now for our keen flank player, he's got a couple of options here. He can either boom, or he can go for an aggressive rush with magic. So they're going to double onto GrandMonster. And I think it's a really strong rush because you've got spider eggs, which you can put down in the base when you're going for the town center, around the town center, preventing like repairing the town center or something like that. And you also get automatons, which against Thor, really hard to defend against an automaton Murmillo Terma attack when combined with what Magic's going to be doing, which could be like an Ulfsark rush. But looking like they're not going for that attack because the Gaia Forest tree comes down. You want to be putting this one, you want to be saving this one. It's got like a minute 30 cooldown or something. So by the time it's 5 minutes, maybe it's be a bit late. Maybe it won't be. What is the cooldown? Recharge time is 2 minutes actually. So it's going to be more like a 5:30 when they would use it, which does allow Apple to potentially come over there and monument to the soldiers in this base. But looking like that's not the case here just yet for Apple. He has not thrown down the monuments yet, which I don't like. He's going through Bast, which is obviously the god of choice for him. We are seeing Freya, and we are seeing Leto for the automatons. For the automatons, indeed. So where does Flame go from now is the question. What is the answer? And it's looking like Magic is just neglecting his Gaia Forest. I like that. That's not silly from Magic. He's got 6 villagers on the wood here, which is a pretty high amount of villagers. It's looking like Magic's going for a fast second town center here. And I don't see that from GrandMonster. GrandMonster going for the double longhouse. Where is he going with these Herser if not for the town center? I'm a little bit confuzzled, but looking like he's walking over there now. So Magic going for an instant second town center here in the North Wall. This Arctic Craters is a gigantic map. This is probably the biggest map we have in the map pool. So fast 2 town center plays are not the worst idea, because there's a long way for your opponent to travel, and we do see that Raiding Cavalry are coming out for GrandMonster here. And he's going to be strapped for wood in order to get out his own, because he's only got 4 villagers on the wood, and beyond that, he's going to be making no infantry, so he's only going to have the 4 infantry. So this town center will come up about 6 minutes and 10 seconds or something. Villagers are moving away from this wood line here. No forest fire comes down. I'm surprised that, well, I'm not surprised. GrandMonster could just forest fire this, but Flame will probably have another Gaia Forest left for him if they so choose. But Flame's just going to be holding on to that one, which I love, and he really needs to hold on to it, because Forest Fire and Gaia Forest combination is brutal. So we'll see what they go with. And we are seeing the automatons getting built. No, we're not. We're only building one. It's kind of important to get those automatons out, but we're probably seeing an armory coming up for Apple. Yeah, there it is. And that's going to be big for Apple. Gaia Forest coming down somewhere. I'm not sure. He's putting it down in his base. And the Spider Lair casts down Apple, casting Prosperity. Raids coming in onto the gold mine of Magic, but Magic can just sit in here. He's running away from the trees, and that'll be a thing. Forest Fire comes in. Obviously, you want to prevent this from being gathered from as best as you can. Town center's up now for Magic. Magic moving in with his Herser. Almost picking off a Raiding Cavalry there. There's only 3 HP left. Let's be careful not to walk through that, but there we go. The Forest Fire is going to be expired. These Herser from Magic moving in. Let's start picking off these Raiding Cavalry, and they're going to have to get out of there. There's Magic's pulling Dwarves. Does manage to pick off 1 Raiding Cavalry there, and he should be able to start just pumping out those military buildings. How's this wood situation? He's got 400 wood in the bank, so he's happy to just move on to chicken and then just throw down longhouses if he so chooses. And there's the armory for GrandMonster. So I like that GrandMonster is not just reacting to this fast 2 town center by grabbing his own town center. He's going to be getting an armory. He's going to be going for a semi-fast heroic age here and going for a timing push onto Magic or onto Keen Flame. So we'll see if that works out for him. Thor does have access to Bragi, really, really strong all-in god. So we're probably going to be seeing Bragi coming through and GrandMonster going for a big all-in with a combination of Ancestors Eclipse. And we are seeing this Gaia army getting pushed back. Sphinx and Scorpion Men chasing them down using their special abilities. Not sure what that was. I think that was Spider Eggs. It doesn't show up that it was cast. Well, he's using it on his base. Interesting. He's just making sure he doesn't get all-in on that one. Villagers have been spotted. And GrandMonster is going to be chasing them around. And Magic's really out of position right now. Trying to pump out the Raiding Cavalry. And Forest Fire having to be used. A defensive Forest Fire having to be used there for Magic. No real problem there. I think we're out of Forest Fire. Oh, we weren't out of Gaia's Forest. A little bit sad. A little bit sad we didn't get to see the Gaia-Thor synergy. And there we go. Magic is going to be pretty happy about how well he's defended this so far. There's the town center for GrandMonster, so I tell a lie about everything I was saying before. GrandMonster going to be heavily sitting in the classical age. He's just going to be flat out behind Magic here. This is going to be a huge boom advantage for Magic, and it's just going to be, can GrandMonster pick off the villages? And he has picked off 1 there. Magic not moving these ones back just yet, but can GrandMonster pick off the villages or pick off enough villages and not lose these Raiding Cavalry? It's very important. If he can do that, he's going to be very, very happy. He'll be able to catch up on the boom. But Magic at this point is just going to be getting more and more economy, or slightly more economy than the Thor. But we are seeing Skadi coming through for GrandMonster, so not actually going for the Bragi option there. And we are seeing Flame pushing Apple back at this point, but still no second town center. A little bit confused, although there it is. There's the second town center. Generally speaking, what you do as Atlantean, when you hit 115 population, you cancel all of these buildings and you grab 3 town centers. So 2 town centers at once is the general strategy. But we do see the Murmilla moving in, trying to deal some damage. Going to be losing a couple of these units. They'll be making population. Beyond that, you also want to make sure you're still getting more population. So you don't want to lose. You don't want to have your army being replaced with army. You want to have your overpopped army being replaced with villages, and that way you're still getting ahead instead of falling behind. But Magic chasing down these raiders here, and the Herser going to be picking off those Valkyrie. He is running through there, GrandMonster, looking for something to dupe, but I don't feel like there's much raiding that can be happening when you're getting chased by enemy raiders, and I think Magic is just happy to just continue booming. And Scardy's incoming for Magic now, so GrandMonster and Magic are in a battle of chasing each other with tech and economy. GrandMonster has no resources in the bank, whereas Magic's going to have a lot of gold in the bank. And what gold means for Thor is a market, and trading for food means a really early Mythic Age. So 2 town center fast Ragnarok is on the cards here for Magic. So we'll see if he can use that to his advantage or not. He's going for a 3rd town center here, exactly what you want to be doing. And he has caught GrandMonster's raiding cavalry with the rest of his, but these are heavy raiders now, and they're also making, GrandMonster's also making Jarls. And now Magic can kind of make a push in here and try and prevent this town center of GrandMonster's from going up. We'll see if he manages to do that. Scardy has come through, so he has his own frost. This town center will be going up, and we're going to be sending every single one of these units in here and potentially going to force a frost if GrandMonster wants to get this town center up at any point here. And we should be seeing that that Frost Giant going to be making their way over here. Frost Giants are really important in these fights because they obviously immobilize a unit. Bunch of houses going up for GrandMonster. You can see is popped right now. So Magic is able to start pushing through, and Flame just keeping Apple contained right now. He's got his own 2nd town center. Hasn't gone for the 3rd town center. Guess he doesn't want to give Apple an opportunity here to Ancestors Eclipse push onto that town center. And while this is all going on, it's looking like GrandMonster losing a lot of his units. Starting to make these great Jarls though, and they're going to be a different beast that Magic has to push through. Considering he doesn't have heavy cavalry just yet, he may get pushed back here as GrandMonster kind of has the defender's advantage. 2 hill forts pumping out the great Jarls may be enough, and Magic is deciding, okay, time to retreat here. It's kind of an even fight. No one's really won that one. Market up right now for Magic. Balder incoming right now. And he's managed to force GrandMonster to build a lot of units. So you can see GrandMonster's economy really low. GrandMonster not going to the next age. Magic getting fortified town centers, getting Balder. Flame going through Thea right now. Getting some raids coming on, looking for this gold mine. There are no gold villages here just yet. Hexwood's tree getting thrown down instantly in the base. Probably going to make some Dryads out of that one. Dryads do not cost population, and they are basically a heroic age myth unit. You get 5 of them. Really cheap. They cost no favor. Absolutely bonkers unit. Why does anybody ever not go through Thea? I ask you this question. And here we go. Moving forward. Magic's got the Frost Giants out right now. Ooh, he's throwing one forward. Have to run that one away. Make sure he can at least get away with a little bit of HP. The Jarl's trying to get on top of that one, doing as much damage as he possibly can. But Magic is at 3 town centers. He's got population to spare, so he's still going up in the villager count right now. And Magic's pushing through. The question's going to be this timing push from Apple. It's late. It's 14 minutes. Normally we see these pushes coming in much earlier. Is it going to be enough? Does King Flame have a bunch of resources in the bank to make hero units, which he does? Magic has Balder coming in. He can now use the Ragnarok if he so chooses. But he's going to be holding on to it. He knows he can just grab this town center, get a 4 town center advantage. We do have some of these some of these chariot archers from Apple coming in, but Contarius coming in, going to be jabbing away at these chariot archers. We see a Frost now coming in onto this army, and Keen Flame going to be retreating away from for some reason. You need to attack this, my dude. Make sure that these units are really low. And we've got the villagers taking this one out. Antis Eclipse coming down into the base of Keen Flame, but that's not going to do a lot. These villagers can just garrison into their towers, and they'll be completely fine here. You have the town center coming up for Magic, and he will be able to have a huge advantage over GrandMonster right now. And Flame, on the other hand, he's got these Dryads popping out to pick off these Ancestors, so that's totally fine. The army just retreating back into their base, but Apple will now be able to grab this town center if he so chooses, with the all of that advantage going in there. And during the eclipse, we cannot see a Frost onto this army here, so GrandMonster just going to be sitting here losing units to the Fire Giant of Magic while he grabs this town center for himself, continues to spam out villages. This is going to be a gigantic Ragnarok coming in, and not only that, but Magic is now coming in, preventing this town center from going up, or at least going to try, but I feel like this is going to force a Frost over here, which is exactly what Magic wants. Magic really wants... Okay, he's going to be retreating when the eclipse finishes. Fair enough. But there's the Ragnarok coming in for Magic. What's the population at? He's sitting at 303, so a really big Ragnarok coming in. Balder coming through for GrandMonster though. So we'll see if what Magic can do with this. But now we've got the Contarius coming in to pick off these raiding cavalry. The villagers getting picked off. The town center getting prevented. The Stufalian Bird falling in. Flame's going to be able to start moving forward, grab this town center back for himself. So we'll see if GrandMonster's Ragnarok is going to be able to be even remotely close to as huge as GrandMonster's, sorry, as Magic's. So Magic moving forward now, he's going to probably just all in maybe Apple here, but I don't know. I think he should be looking for villages if he can, and picking off some before the rag comes of GrandMonster. GrandMonster sitting at 130 of 130 population, so he's still not getting more villages. So it's going to be it's going to be a Ragnarok, but it's going to be a small Ragnarok. We do see bronze upgrades right now for Magic, and GrandMonster uses that Ragnarok himself, and he's sitting at 279 population. Not actually that bad. He's only behind, like, say, maybe 5-10 Rag heroes there at this point in terms of population. But Apple going to be losing this town center. Flame grabbing his own town center here, and the Rag heroes coming in. GrandMonster casts Frost, but that's what Magic was waiting for. He's still got a bunch more in the back, and we'll see if he's going to move them forward or just sit in the back. It's like Rag heroes coming into this town center. Magic realizes he just needs to kind of hold on because he's got the town center advantage. Just trade his Rag for GrandMonsters and keep Flame in the game, which is what he's done by getting this town center for himself. Now the Rag heroes that Magic had idle are going to be moving forward. Rag heroes from GrandMonster looking for something to do. They're going to be moving in. We do have a Son of Osiris here for Dodd Apple. That's going to be huge in this fight because this damage, he has to micro it, but the damage that Son of Osiris does is well, I mean, obviously gigantic, doing 60 hack damage per shot right there. And now the Frost does finish. Magic's probably going to be trying to get out of there. Maybe picking off some village. Yeah, he goes for the villages. But Hero Contarius that have Lance of Stone going to take down this town center incredibly quickly. How's the population looking? We've got 238 for Magic. We've got 249 for GrandMonster, so it's slightly in his favor. But Flame's got his third town center right now, and he's going to be continuing to build these Contarius at this point. Now Magic making a bit of a loop over here, going to be going after GrandMonster's base. There's nothing left over here, and this is a lot of units, so he should be able to just push through these hill forts, and that'll be fairly important. And GrandMonster's picking off the Rag heroes of Magic, but Magic's trying to get out of here, and Apple is maybe able to get a bit of a pathing block here, maybe. And he actually has managed to do that one, but they get a couple of hits onto these Rag heroes. They do only move at a 4.8 speed, so it's not that big of a deal. the chariot archers will be able to hit them, I should say. Now the Rag going to be coming for this town center. Watchtowers coming up for Flame. Siege towers are here as well. Contarius are here. And Magic going to be going for GrandMonster, going after these houses. GrandMonster still has 207 population left though, whereas Magic is sitting at 153. So GrandMonster's Rag has just done some absolute miraculous work here as the town center that Flame has been gifted by Magic falls, and now Magic returning back over to GrandMonster turning back over to his own base that Magic is laying siege to. This is the rest of Magic's army right here. So we'll see if he can somehow pull out this victory with this Ragnarok, or if GrandMonster can push through and regroup his army. But at this point, he's going to be going for Flame's army here, and Flame's just trying to retreat and hold on here, throwing up watchtowers everywhere. These heroes of Ragnarok, he wants them to come in and fight this. If this happens, if this fight happens, this is going to be a lot of dead heroes of Ragnarok, and this is going to be a dead town center falling for GrandMonster, which is really big, because that means no more economy is going to be coming back in for GrandMonster. You can see he's got nothing left in the bank, and so does Magic though. But Magic's villages are starting to pump out. He's got 4 town centers, and we do see the champion chariots in here, but 3 fire giant. If you can click the fire giant on here and use the special, you can pick off every single one of these chariots at once with 3 of these fire giant. The fire giant special does 25 hack damage, so 25 times 3. It's probably not going to exactly kill all of the chariot archers, but it's going to do a lot of damage. We do see that it comes in, and there we go, a bunch of them die, and it's looking like with the fight here going in the favor of Magic right now. He's managed to picking off quite a bit of this stuff, and now he's able to start spamming out raiders as well, being able to push through. And while this is going on, Flames managed to defend his base right now, but Apple's got 4 town centers, so it's going to be late game Magic yet again against late game Apple. But this time Magic's in a much better situation than he was. Give him another couple of minutes and he's going to be back to max economy, or however much economy he really needs to produce units. And he's going to have a bunch of fire giant, which Apple is not going to have a great time dealing with. He does have mummies, but it's going to be a difficult time for him. And now Magic is going to be going after the town center and preventing GrandMonster from recouping his villages. There's only 3 villages here for GrandMonster, but the heroes of Ragnarok are on the tail, and they're going to be going after. Do manage to pick off 1 fire giant. The frost giant are on top of the town center though. They're going to be trying to pick it off, but I feel like this is all going to get cleaned up, and Magic needs to send his army in, which he's doing. He's got a bunch of idols over here, and it's looking, I'm not sure where these Contarius are going, but just trying to take down this town center. It's not going to go down. The heroes of Ragnarok are here, and that's a lot of dead frost giants. Hesperus tree coming down for Flame. Getting a second one somewhere, but now it's going to be, well, it's fire giant over here to help out, so I guess Flame can defend against the impeding Apple here. But the heavy Contarius, this is actually really smart, going after the town center of GrandMonster, or nice little villager raid here. Apple going to be losing some villages, but definitely going after this town center is a really big move there. But looking like the army of Apple is trying to move in and take down Flame's base here. Here we go, these priests getting picked off, but the town center is still alive, and GrandMonster going to slowly but surely start producing more units. He's also, even though he's only on 1 town center, he's producing from 2 economic buildings, but he doesn't have the food to quite sustain that there. And now Magic just has to somehow defend Flame's base. Let's see if he can do so or not. Catapult taking down the manor. This is a really, really close game right now, and we'll see what they can do. See if the Gaia of Flame can survive here or not. And King Flame tried to give a Hesperus tree over to Magic, but that's probably not going to happen. And Magic moving over and going to try and he's going to actually try and pick off the Son of Osiris. That's what he has to do. Send the raiding cavalry in, try and surround that Son of Osiris if you can, He's getting really close to it. He's managed to do it. He's surrounded the Son of Osiris. That's huge right now. If he can actually pick this one off and just keep controlling his cavalry really well, which he has done, he's going to be able to pick off this Son of Osiris, and that's going to be really big because now he can't lose so many of his units very easily. And there he goes. The Apple Son of Osiris does turn around, and huge play there for Magic. Manages to take that one down. It's going to really slow down any sort of push that Apple can do into this Gaia flame. And now we've seen Atlas coming through. Atlas is a pretty huge god power, a pretty huge power swing coming in, because Implode is gigantic. If you just use it onto this army here, it sucks everything in. You can't garrison away from it because it sucks you out of the building. And you pick off a lot of those units. But right now, GrandMonster is still trying to get his economy back into gear. And you can see he's sitting at only 91 population right now. But he is, well, he's still not able to completely support villager production, which is the big story. Destroyers starting to get pumped out. We're going to see this base starting to come crashing down. Magic needs to start transitioning into Fire Giant Ballista here in this game. We'll see if he starts throwing down those hill forts and just making sure he can push through here. I guess he can just push through with the Fire Giant if he wants to. Pulling these rag heroes out. There's a couple of Fire Giant he has of himself. The raids coming in. He's got some Huskarl in here as well that can split off from this army if he wants to and try and side build in this corner. Just looking for some raids, but there's the Atlas. You can just use that here if he wants to, and he is going to be using that one there. He's kind of giving the champion chariots an escape route, but they're not going to be running as the Contarians are coming in, sort of sacrificing their lives, and the Implode comes in, picks off every single one of these units. You can see there's only 3 chariot left in here as everything gets pulled in, and that is absolutely gigantic. And you can see that now Apple's population dropped from 192 down to 160, so it gives them even more breathing room. Now the Raiders are looking for something to do. I think that you need to come in and pick off this trade route if you want to really inflict some pain onto Apple. You don't have, these Huskarl do not have, what is it called, Bravery? I think it's called Bravery. Yeah, do not have Bravery, which means they are not really able to do those raids. You have to get out, use Baldur Rams instead, which are a little bit more challenging. But now the Raiders are on top of these camel caravans. Champion Raiders come through. Champion Raiders with iron upgrades against these hero Ragnaroks who only have bronze upgrades, means that this is going to be a really big raid from Magic to slow down Apple's gold economy. And you can see he's really strapped for gold right now, sitting at only 260. But Apple is still pushing forward. He's throwing down watchtowers. He's got the catapult in here. And Flame, on the other hand, he's got he's really struggling for economy right now. And this is the last gold mine that they have left. And I don't think that Flame can really defend against this push, especially because Apple's kind of at the high ground up here, getting the extra bonus damage. Chariot Archers, Camel Caravan still dying here from this raid from Magic, and now Magic trying to move forward in the front here, going after this town center here. He's got all of the Huskarl, medium Huskarl, but priests are in here trying to prevent this town center from going down, and it's going to be close. The mercenary cavalry are pumping out, and the Fire Giant trying to finish it off, but he realizes he does not have quite enough to do that, as all of the army is coming over to prevent this from happening. Now GrandMonster making a push forward onto Magic's base here. We've got a bunch of idols in here, but he should be able to push out. He does have his own Fire Giant, which he's clicked onto the Fire Giant of GrandMonster, and he should be able to pick that one off. Still making those Huskarls, though. I'm not sure why he's making Huskarl against this army of GrandMonster. I guess he can use them to pick off the Chariot Archers, but he's really not fighting them. It would be better to maybe build out Ulfsark here in order to run over Fire Giants and Great Jarl or something, and keep making the raiding cavalry as well. And now GrandMonster making Ballista. He's trying to go, you can't go Ballista this early. You need to set up the walls first, because otherwise you're just throwing away 300 resources, and it's a really bad time for you. But you will pick off these guys. You can see one raiding cavalry picks off this Ballista in 4 hits. Absolutely ridiculous. It's just you don't want to build them this early. Magic getting a Titan Gate. We'll see if he can get that one up. How's his economy situation? He can probably afford to do exactly this. Transition into the Ulfsark from the dwarves, because you really don't need that many anymore, and go for that Titan Gate. We'll see if you can get it up. It's a big pop investment to do this. You can see if this was an Egyptian player looking at this, you're looking at something like 15, oh, I can't do math, but 20, I actually can't do math, 28, 27 Ulfsark, or 27 population. When Norse does it, it's more like 44 population, right? That doesn't seem right. 54 population. So it's a huge pop investment to get this Titan Gate coming up. So you can make a lot of damage. You can do a lot of damage with the push that Keen Flame is currently doing right now. We'll see, is there any units getting thrown over there? What you could do if you're Magic right now is transition into a lot of Ulfsark here and kind of Ragnarok yet again, because you've got a lot of resources in the bank. Make sure you get out heavy upgrades for heavy infantry at the very least for your units, and then try and defend here with the Ulfsark, chucking up military buildings everywhere. And then you can rebuild those villages yet again because you've got the resources to do so. And keep on transitioning between that. But given that GrandMonster's had the time now, he's trying to build these Ballaster. He's got some of those longhouses coming in, and now the Raiders are coming onto this gold mine here. The Oracle Scout has found them just chilling here, and the Raiders will be able to pick up quite a few of these villages. But Keen Flame's town center is under siege, and Flame is sitting at almost full population, but he is over eco. He has way too much economy, but he can't even support it either. He's somehow figure out a way to pick off these catapults. With all of these watchtowers, with the high ground right now, it's going to be a difficult process. We do see GrandMonster coming in. He's right-clicked onto the Titan Gate, but there's already some infantry already onto these Ballaster. We'll be able to pick these guys off nice and quick, but the Titan Gate has been slowed down a little bit here. And he has got the Hesperus Tree. That gives Magic a Hesperus Tree. He's able to get out 5 Dryads for himself now. That's not huge, but huge in the same situation. He's going to have an extra 5 Dryads, which is basically worth an extra 10 to 15 population, depending on how much you value those Dryads. Apple's now getting his own Secrets of the Titan. He's picked off the town center of Flame. Will Magic be able to carry this one is the question. 90% through on that Titan Gate right now. Magic going to be going straight through GrandMonster. He's going to pick this one off incredibly fast. And then the question is, can he defend this location? We've got walls coming up everywhere for Flame. It's exactly what you want to do. You want to slow down Apple as much as you possibly can here. And he's going for the Wonder. He's going Titan Wonder here. He's realizing this is the only option he has. And we'll see if he can win this game with the Wonder. Move the Titan forward. Push through GrandMonster as best as you can. And now Flame basically has to decide, do I try and pick off... Sorry, Apple has to decide, do I have to pick off Flame right now first and then go for the Wonder? Or... do I just go for the Wonder right now? But you have to deal with the Titan as well. And the Titan is just going to be walking straight in here, going for this town center. And he's also then going to be going for the Titan Gate of Apple, who is coming through really shortly, 90% left on that Titan Age. And the town center is going to be getting instantly destroyed. Farms die, which is a really big economic loss as well. Titan Gate comes down. Hopefully he puts the Titan Gate as far away as he possibly can from that Titan, which I assume he will be doing, which is why these villagers are moving over there. And there's the Titan Gate going down. The Wonder is at 4,000 HP right now, so it's going to be a ways away, but the Titan does pick off the town center. Going to be leaving the rest of GrandMonster's units here, and the Wonder, or not the Wonder, the Titan Gate for Apple is starting to come up, and Magic moving in. Is he fast enough? He's got 4 Raiders in here. And there's already mercenary cavalry though. He's going to try and pick it off. He's on top of it, but it doesn't go down fast enough. It doesn't go down fast enough. But the Contarius for Flame coming in. He can heroize these Contarius and he can deal really big damage to this Titan Gate. And he's doing it. He's making the hero Contarius. And it's looking like there's really not that many units over here. There's a lot of villages on this one. Titan is going to be taking down the fortified town center of GrandMonster. Walls coming up now for GrandMonster. He's setting up to take down this town center here. And we're going to see the Titan going to... I would hope that he would go for Apple's town center here, but he does prevent the trade route from functioning currently for Apple. And now the Contarius on top of this Titan Gate, not going to be enough, but do slow it down yet again. And the Ballista are going to be trying to take down this Titan, and we'll see if that is any much of an issue. I'd love to see Flame get his own Titan Gate out right now, if he could afford it, which he can almost do. He just has to buy his way to it if he wants to, and then he could utilize that Titan to pick off Apple's Titan, and then the Wonder is going to be the way forward. But now the Wonder's up, we'll see, can Magic defend against the powers of a Titan versus potentially nothing here for, no extra Titan for Flame. But if any way was the way for Flame, for team I can't say it right now. If any way for Magic and Flame to win this game, it would be Flame getting his own Titan out, putting it up, and forcing Apple to make a decision whether he wants to go after it or not. But right now, Magic just going to be returning to his location here, throwing up watchtowers everywhere, walls going up everywhere. And he's got it up. We've got 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game. At the peak amount, if this Titan Gate goes down, I guarantee you Magic taps out here. But, well, towers going up everywhere. Magic can support this. And the Titan returning back to his homeland. He's going to try and utilize as much of the HP of this Titan to trade with the Titan of Apple here, because he doesn't want to have to deal with that at all. Field forts going up everywhere. Dryads here to pick off all of this stuff. These walls that were set up from GrandMonster are good, but I'm not sure that Apple and GrandMonster have really got a good idea about how they want to deal with this. All the walls are up for Keen Flame right now. Now, this is when we come in and we tell you that the rules for this tournament are slightly different. There is one specific rule that has been thrown into this tournament. You cannot put wall segments by themselves down. You have to have the stone wall attached to something else, and you can't, like, obviously you could do like an accidental one here or there, but you can't purposefully spam wall segments, otherwise you will be disqualified from the tournament. So a big strategy that people would do in their team games is put wall segments all around this Wonder and push them out, and then it makes it really hard for your opponent to push in. Still, no Titan Age for Flame. He's got 7,000 gold in his bank, and he's not grabbing a Titan. Magic going to be losing his back town center here, as he's just trying to survive in this location. He could just... Where's his villagers? He could just make Ulfsark here as well, if he wanted to. One thing that you can do as well for Flame is throw down economic guilds everywhere, and that spreads out the Gaia Lush and prevents this sort of shenanigans from happening closer to Magic's base. And we'll see if it's going to be enough. The Titan's up now for Apple. He's going to be making his way into the base of Magic, and Magic is going to be making his way potentially over to the Titan, or just trying to greet the Titan wherever he comes in. Ballast is starting to set up. The town center did fall right here, and the camel caravans for Magic are going to be falling, but he's got a lot of resources in the bank. I'm still furious that Flame hasn't gotten out his Titan himself, because I feel like it would be... Oh, he's using the Contarius to come in and block? What are you doing? Or is he going for the town center? He's going for the town center. Town center raids. I love it. Apple... Well, actually, he's not going for the town center. I tell a lie. Could go for the camel caravans. Okay, we've got 6 minutes, 45 seconds left. Guard towers going up everywhere, but there's only 3 citizens doing it. Upgrade the citizen to hero citizen and they'll build faster. Oh my god, this is going to be insane. We're seeing villagers getting deleted though. Opening up pop space, trying to get this town center back, looking like the Ulfsark are on top of it fairly nicely. Titan is slowly but surely. The Titan's been trapped in here. This is huge. This is a lot of HP being thrown away on this Titan right now. This means that the Norse Titan, and he hasn't noticed it at all. Finally, he turns around and now he's stamping on the ground. The villagers get garrisoned instantly, but the hero Contarius, they can completely trap this Titan and just keep on rebuilding them. He's not going to be able to do it though. He hasn't reacted fast enough in that regard, but he's managed to deal almost the same amount of damage that this Titan over here had done to himself. Now the ballast are coming in, but Magic on the other side and going to be moving the Titan in to pick off these ballast, and maybe he can move the Ulfsark in. Probably doesn't have to sacrifice the HP just yet, but he's dealt 5 or almost 2,000 HP of damage right now. Magic's going to be super careful with this Titan because you do not want to be losing that one at all, or any of that HP at all. But it's looking like Apple's going to make his way around this way and try and target the Wonder on this side of the map. But we're looking like the town center's up now for Apple, and GrandMonster still hasn't gotten Titan Age. Fine, don't get it. It's fine. It's fine. Magic is going to be holding on as best as he can right now. The Contarius, the hero destroyers, everything is trying to deal as much damage to this Titan as he possibly can, because he's realizing that Magic can basically hold here for an infinite, well, not an infinite amount of time, but a really long amount of time. But GrandMonster really smartly making Balder, Dwarven, Augur, portable rams. These are strong. They get an extra 20% move speed, extra 20% ram crush damage, and that's huge. Now, the Titan of Magic gets onto the Titan of Apple, but there's a huge amount of GrandMonster units here that are going to be coming onto this as well, so it's going to be a bit of a weird trade, and he runs them into the splash zone of Magic's Titans, so he loses pretty much all of them. But now the affordable Rams are on top of this, and it's going to be if both Titans fall, and Apple's Titan can do a little bit of damage. It doesn't even get an extra tick of damage onto Magic's army. So really well played there. Now we've got Apple on the backside of Keen Flame. He's snuck in a side build that I think the Llama Caravan might spot it. It's going to be super close there. I've got no idea what is going to happen on that regard, but it's looking like more walls coming up for Flame, just trying to make this as difficult as possible. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left for Magic's Wonder to win the game. The Axeman coming in, going to be trying to pick off all of Magic's units right now, and Magic is moving forward with the Fire Giant and defending quite nicely, but he has no idea about this push that's going to be coming into his backside, and there's not a lot that they can do to defend this, except for the fact that these villagers also have to set up walls. But Magic spotted it. Magic sending his Huskarl back here. He spotted the siege works coming up, and he's going to be picking off these villagers here. That's going to be... well, I mean, that's going to help him out quite a bit to stay alive in this game. Okay, more palace coming up for King Flame. He needs to send more villagers over there and just keep building stuff. But he has managed to stop this shenanigans from happening right now. And the catapult are kind of useless if they pop out. The Thor army is going to be enough. But the distraction has been enough to send in these portable rams to take down Magic's army here. And beyond that, we've also got these ballaster here, which are going to be able to finish off the town center really fast. But is it going to be fast enough? As he's focused them down, he's on 7 HP. He's on 7 HP and he's not targeting it. And the town center is on 80 HP. One more shot and it will fall. It's so sad. Town center falls for Magic, but still has 2 minutes remaining on the Wonder, and he's got a long, it's not a long way, it's one screen he needs to pass through, but there's so many buildings here, so many towers around this Wonder. You basically need to go pure rams and just ram through this way here if you possibly can, if you're gonna have any chance. But still going for the catapults, still trying to get onto this Wonder. Even if he gets onto the Wonder with the catapult, he still has to take it down, so he needs a bunch of those siege weapons, and the catapult or the siege works of Apple will be falling, and Apple taps out. GrandMonster taps out. GG, well played by Magic. Magic to somehow take that game there from Apple and GrandMonster, who looked like they were going to be able to come out with it for a moment there before the one that came down. Still furious with Flame that he didn't go for his own Titan. That would have really sealed the deal. I could have just thrown like 4 villagers or 5 villagers onto it and got it up eventually, because there's no way that Apple would devote too much time to preventing that Titan, or at least if he did, it would be a bit easier to set all this shenanigans up. But well played by Magic, and Flame taking that win, going to level the series. This is what Age of Mythology is all about. We'll move on to game number 3, the deciding game, really soon. Thanks for hanging out with me, everyone. We'll get the next game going.